Hello, everybody. This is Adam DeAngeli from the Rescue Michigan Coalition, and thank you all for joining us this lovely Thursday evening. It is time for debate night. We are going to be watching the Gretchen Whitmer Tudor Dixon debate. We'll be live streaming. We'll comment on it as it goes. And I've got a special guest in our studio tonight. You may have seen her in the chat. This is Patty P, who is joining us for the first time on stream. Hey. We unfortunately will not be joined by Shane and Amber tonight. They, I guess, are going to some sort of live debate watching party. Boo!
I think I saw something posted. Yeah, some pizza party or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for them. You know, being out in the real world like they are. But you know what? We might not be out in the real world, but the internet is forever, and we get to actually comment in front of all you guys all over the state. So it's going to be a lot better. We are live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Rumble, but to warn all of you folks on YouTube, we are going to cut the stream off before the live debate starts on YouTube, in part because of the ongoing censorship that we have been experiencing on YouTube. And of course, you all don't need any introduction to that. We've also had a lot of censorship going on with YouTube's parent company, Google, recently. If you're wondering why we didn't send out an email blast announcing tonight's stream, the reason for that is because Google has apparently given us some difficulty with their email service. We got that straightened out like this afternoon, but something really weird is definitely going on with Google. And I remember noticing back in, it must have been a couple of years ago, I was seeing personal emails from people that I had been emailing back and forth personally, going to my spam folder on Google, and particularly relating to election-related stuff. And
that's remember after the 2016 election, the CEO of Google said this will never happen again, or something to that effect. So they pretty much said right then that they're going to not allow, or that they're going to start censoring or throttling. And that's why I started a completely separate email address, just that I use, for actual communications on Proton Mail. And I don't use Gmail or Yahoo for anything political anymore.
Yeah. Dwayne says, tell them to hurry up. I got a 7 p.m. meeting. Sorry, Dwayne. The debate starts at 7. This is just a pregame show. We're going to go straight into it.
Pre-gaming, yeah.
But we're going to spend some time talking about the issues, some of the latest things in the news. If we have time, we might see some clips from a couple of other debates. We did a debate stream the other night. We watched the J.D. Vance versus, I always forget, is it Tim Ryan in Ohio? Yeah, it must be Tim Ryan.
Tim Ryan, yeah.
But we still have the Blake Masters debate, and we've also got the Tom Barrett versus Alyssa Slotkin debate. Someone in the chat on Rumble asked if we could watch that, so we can maybe look at a sampling of that while we're waiting for the big show to start. But anyway, yeah, Google, when we send out our email blasts, they typically give us a open rate. They give us a rate of how many people unsubscribe, how many people mark it as spam, all that stuff. And after the email we sent out a few days ago, I very instantly suddenly got a whole lot of hate mail from people, and they were all from Gmail addresses. So it was kind of telling me, suddenly people who have never gotten emails from us on Google before suddenly got that one for some reason.
And hated it.
Well, some of them did. The ones, obviously, in every given email list, you get some percentage of people who sign up just to make trouble. Mm-hmm. And I always like it when they email me because they identify themselves and we delete them from the email list immediately. And that's all fine. But apparently, because there's very strict rules in email. Like if you get more than 1 in 1,000 emails get a spam complaint, then you get in trouble. So we got a higher than usual spam complaint rate, but only from Google. And that's what triggered. And I noticed the open rate on that last email was like way higher than normal. It was like 1.5 times what it normally is. So anyone watching, if you're on Google for email, Gmail or whatever Google-based email platform, get off of it. It is censoring what you're being allowed to see. Mm-hmm. And of course, YouTube is censoring political content all the time too. They are not reliable business partners. And it's unbelievable we have to even say this stuff because an email is like a phone. It's like you should not be expecting it to filter calls for you without your knowledge or your consent, but that's what they do. Yep. So, Dwayne says he knew that. I know. Yeah, we saw the emojis, Dwayne. But yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube like Steven is, just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Rescue Michigan Coalition. You can watch on Facebook or go to our Rumble channel, which is really our main repository for our live streams. It's the one that we link when we post them on our website. We are also streaming on Rumble. We see RL White Wolf. We see BG Graf says hashtag Whitmer death toll. And by the way,
that was
if you remember that. Let me see if I can,
Steven Crowder, right?
I can find this picture. We just put out our Whitmer death toll yard sign, which we got way back in, it must have been 2018. Yeah, it was, because I remember, or no, 2020. It was, let me see if I can find the picture of it. Steven Crowder came to, here we go. Steven Crowder came to Michigan to do a rally. It was shortly before Election Day, and they handed out literally a truckload of these yard signs. There it is. How many seniors? Hashtag Whitmer death toll. And after the 2020 election, we put ours back in the garage. We just put it back out again. So if you're driving by my house, you'll see the Whitmer death toll hashtag yard sign out there. Yep, find her with Crowder. Yeah, Logger Larry says, hello and good evening. No YouTube for me. I'll tell you, it has been a process for me to get off of YouTube. We've been streaming to Rumble this entire time, but YouTube is just a place you go to watch videos because there's just so much more content there. But now, especially with that Nick Rekieta ban that happened this past week or so, everybody is migrating to Rumble now off of YouTube and doing like what we're doing, where you start a stream on YouTube just so people know that we're still around, but then telling them go to the Rumble for the real stream.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Patty, tell us, since this is your first time on a stream, tell us a little about you. And I know you're one of our hardcore organizers out in Wayne County there. So tell us a little bit about how goes the battle.
It's good. We're working hard over here. We're trying to, get activated with our delegates, get our delegates knocking doors and getting involved and helping candidates all up and down the ballot. We have a school board election, state house election, which we're feeling good about. Two state Senate ones in Plymouth Canton area. So yeah, it's good. So yeah, I'm a precinct delegate as well from Plymouth Township, and doing my part, I guess, trying, so I don't have any guilty feelings after that. I didn't try enough,
Yeah. I mean, we all do the best we can. And I learned after like my first really hardcore election cycle was like the Ron Paul presidential campaigns. And at the same, even back then we were saying, if we don't win this, the world's going to end. And at some point you realize there's only so much you can do.
Right.
And you can't take the whole world on your shoulders, but we always want to do the best that we can, but within reason. But yeah, I got a funny call yesterday actually from someone running for school board. I think it was in Oakland County. Yeah, it was in Oakland County. He says, these mail pieces came out endorsing me from this group called the Great Lakes Education Project. And he had no idea who they were and why they were endorsing him. And he had no contact with them. And I was like, oh, that's the DeVosses. So, there's certainly some bad things the DeVosses have done over the years, but if they're supporting our candidates, we'll take them, right? So I don't know if that was a one-off, if there was a single thing, or if they're doing that all over the state. But
yeah, I haven't. What is it again? The name? I'm sorry.
Great Lakes Education Project. It's like the education wing of the DeVosses political arm.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of it, and I haven't heard of anything that they've endorsed anyone in our area. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you should tell your candidates they should call them or something. So I don't really know exactly. I mean, obviously, the DeVos family's agenda is school choice and things like that. But like I remember, I'll tell you guys a story about glepp, and some people might say, oh, well, given what I'm about to say, they're a bad group. But if they're supporting candidates, we'll take it. But a long time ago, back in I think 2014. They used to have as their top item on their website, their mission included implementing Common Core. And they got shamed into taking that down because I think they eventually realized it was just untenable. But nonetheless, you know what? If they're competing, because they are competing with the teachers unions and all that. So sometimes,
the candidates on the other side, they're endorsed by the MEA.
Yeah. Sometimes the enemy of the enemy is our friend,
Yeah.
So Stephen Richard on YouTube says Whitmer is Jenner laces out. Yeah. There'll definitely be a contrast on stage in terms of appearance. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how they present themselves. I wonder how do you think Whitmer's going to present herself in this debate? Because usually she comes off as like she talks down to people. She speaks slowly. I mean, she's just not very bright, honestly. But I don't know what kind of look she's going to go for tonight.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if she's going to play the.
Well, I would guess a leather jacket.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems to be what her stylist has got her in lately.
Yeah. She seems to kind of pepper in a very slight Yuppish accent that's not really one.
She's
don't you know?
Snakeskin shirt, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Pie Man says on Rumble says, "Hello all. I do not believe the polls that are being put for Whitmer's up by double digits. Tudor, in my opinion, needs to come out and be aggressive. BJ on Rumble agrees. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a debate that's Tudor's to lose.
Yeah, well, she was only down by 6 in the Trafalgar poll in September.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was a CBS poll that came out, I think Monday, and it showed her it showed Tudor only down by 6 as well. I don't know if Trafalgar will poll again or if Barris is going to come in or do anything. I'm not sure. But
I think that's a sign of tracking too, because Trafalgar, Rasmussen, and Richard Barris are like the only 3 pollsters I really trust.
Yep.
They really take the time to, number one, really make sure they're talking to real Democrats, independents, and Republicans, and not try to meddle with the sampling. Other organizations try to get the results they want the public to hear. They want us to be demoralized. They want us not to be donating and all that stuff.
Well, that Trafalgar poll too, though, in September it did oversample Dems too. The first page in their report showed the sample. So I don't know if that,
Yeah, they were oversampling Democrats. Well, right. So if the results were the same for Trafalgar a month ago and for CBS now, then that certainly seems like things are trending Tudor's way.
Yeah, and I saw a commercial today on Twitter. She finally has like a 30-second. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I don't really watch TV, and I have ad blocker on my computer, so I don't see very many ads.
Yeah, no, it came through my Twitter, in one of my private Twitter groups I'm in. They posted it in there.
Yeah. So, I was on I was at a restaurant or something, and I saw an ad. It was an attack ad against Kevin Hertel. So I think that's also going to be happening too. Is that the Republicans for the legislature? Their ads are going to be go into this space as well. And Ben Hewer says, "I have been polled, and when I told them where I stood, they hung up." Well, Ben, sometimes there's a reason for that, and depending on what the question was and what your answer was, but sometimes. Like when a poll, when they start off with, "Are you expecting to vote in November?" And if you say not really, they'll just end the call there. So if it was a Democrat pollster, for example, and you told them you were planning to vote Republican, they would hang up on you at that point. Because what they were probably doing if you were going to vote Democrat or say you're independent or something is they'll start asking more probing questions like, "Oh, what's your top issue? And what do you think about this?" Lots of things are poll tested. So if they weren't testing if you didn't give them an answer that was going to lead to what they were testing on, that might be why they hung up. But anyway, getting back to the point people in the chat are making, and Dwayne on Facebook says too, Tudor needs to get mad. Carefully though, because especially with female candidates, you got to be very careful at how you express emotions. But yeah, she definitely needs to be aggressive. Needs to be hard on the points. And what we saw with JD Vanson's poll the other day. He had a very good rhythm of quickly beating back the attack and then going right back on the counterattack. And that's what Tudor needs to do. So we will see. I saw some article, and I can see if I can find it, that said that she was like being extensively prepped for this. Let me see if I can find the... I
mean, the few times I've seen her speak lately too versus last summer, and she was good last summer too, but I think she's even come into her own more. And I like her personality. She's got a little snark to her sometimes. And, she's not afraid, I don't think. So I'm curious. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, she is. She has a background in broadcasting. So you would think she will do really well. Here's the article I was looking at. And it's quoting John Engler helping Dixon prepare for the debate. Looking forward to an evening of contrasts, which means contrast is like political speak for attacks. And he says, just Dixon's presence on stage in a statewide televised debate where she carries herself in a gubernatorial way and explains how she's different, even without drawing blood, will be a plus for Dixon, said some political hack. So, yeah. Curious how many people have already voted. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now, right?
I don't think many. In fact, I tried to vote a couple of days ago and I could not because they didn't have the ballots yet. So I don't know if that's the way word is for everybody else, but in my township, we do not yet have ballots. So I know absentee applications have certainly gone out, but I think people are still waiting for their ballots. Let me know in the chat if you guys are having a different experience, if you've gotten your ballots yet. I did not.
I'm pretty sure Plymouth Township did. Our clerk is on top of things. So.
Okay. Megan on Facebook says Tudor needs to clarify her exceptions for abortion, just like Trump did at the rally in Warren. Yeah, I have no doubt abortion's going to come up, and we'll just see how well she answers those questions. We've been looking at how other candidates have addressed this. I think what she really needs to do is, number one, make the point that what's in Proposal 3 is the most radical abortion plan that there is anywhere, and hit against that. And also, I think with the issue of, going against the lies of the media, saying she says no exceptions when she said over and over again exceptions for the life of the mother. Highlight the fact that Democrats constantly lie and pretend like miscarriages and abortions are the same thing,
right?
Stuff like that. So we'll see. Max on YouTube says, "Let's go Tudor." Yeah, and we are going to try to be as neutral as we can in terms of analyzing how they do, but obviously we're all rooting for Tudor here. So we'll see how things go. In past debates, we've done debate bingo. I don't know if we want to do that this time, just because we never got bingo in any of our previous ones. We did that for the Attorney General primary.
Do you have a bingo card?
I can make one. Let me see here. Let me pull up.
Should we ask people in the chat to start typing some words we think we'll hear tonight?
Yeah, here. Let me bring this up on screen. We can do a debate bingo. Oops. Let me go back here. Let's make a debate bingo. Let's see, the free space, that will be abortion. That's coming up for sure. And then for all the other ones, we can just put in anything. And then what we'll do is it'll actually give you a tool where we can scramble them up, and then everybody can make their own bingo card. And who knows? We'll see what happens. So let's see what else we're going to have on here. We're going to definitely have
Michiganders.
Yeah,
that's a gimme, I guess.
Ganders, you can put that one in. Nursing home deaths, I think that's going to be a likely one.
Yeah.
Should we capitalize them? Yeah, let's do that. Nursing home deaths. There. What else we got? Gas tax for sure. That's going to be coming up.
Inflation.
All right, inflation. People in chat, let us know. Oh, Tyler on Rumble says, "Drink every time you hear the word roads." Yep, we can put something on there. Should we say should we say fix the damn roads, or just anything about roads?
Oh, what about fighting like hell? I wonder if that's all she tweets. I'm fighting like hell.
Oh, Whitmer, yeah, okay, fight like hell. All right, we'll do that. Let's see, fight like hell. We'll put that one on there.
And the Facebook, they said lockdowns or COVID. Yeah.
Lockdowns. We'll put lockdown/COVID because that's one that's going to come up for sure, no matter what. Unconstitutional stay-at-home orders. We'll say unconstitutional orders. Definitely. We've got to put some things on here for Dixon too. Let's see if
parents' choice, parental rights.
Parental choice or rights. Yeah, it's a good one. We could do. Let's bring up Tudor's movies.
Stop.
Hey, she might bring it up. She might.
I mean, laptop fell over. Rookie. There we go.
Sandra says voter ID. Yeah, that's a good one. Voter ID. Ready? Debbie on YouTube says, when does the debate start? And Debbie, the answer is 7:00 p.m. We're just having a little pregame going on here tonight. The debate starts at 7. We will be streaming it right here. So feel free to hang out with us. But if you are watching on YouTube, we went over this earlier, but let me just reiterate. We are going to be hanging up the YouTube stream before the debate starts. Just frankly, because YouTube has all kinds of censorship problems. They should not have any live streaming problem with this because it'll be fair usage. Obviously, it's transformative. We are going to be putting out live commentary. So if you wanted to watch the debate with us without us talking over it, you would not get that. But either way, YouTube is terrible. So if you are watching on YouTube, you will need to go either to our stream on Rumble at rumble.com and then just search for Rescue Michigan on Rumble, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Rescue Michigan Coalition. I don't think we need to put proper capitalization for our Facebook group, do we? Because see here we have our initials are capitalized, but what if we do it without the initials capitalized? Will that still find us?
Probably.
No. Okay, yeah. So we don't need to, okay, so it's not case sensitive. This is good to know. All right. So yeah, you can find us on Facebook and on Rumble. Before you leave YouTube, make sure you leave a like and a comment and a subscribe on our YouTube channel as well. And thank you all for doing that. But all right, anyway, let's get back to our bingo board here. Let's see. Am I governor debate? What else do we want to put on here? Sandra says parental rights. We've got that on there. RL White Wolf on Rumble says fake polls. We'll put, it doesn't have to be fake. We'll just say polls on there. What else we got here? What else says Whitmer screwed up? Here's one.
Unemployment benefits.
Yeah, there you go. Unemployment benefits.
Transgender, Sandra said.
Yep, transgenders is a good one. The transgenderism, be about that in general. Here's one that I don't think we're going to get, but we should. And we'll see if Tudor brings this up. I bet she won't. Veto prisoner compensation. I'll tell you guys this story because you probably don't know this. If you haven't already heard this story from me, Jessica Ann says drag queens. We'll put that with transgenderism. We'll say transgenderism. Drag queens. So here's the story, and here's how I would use this if I were Tudor Dixon in this debate. You could use a tactic called argument stacking, where you start with a couple of hits and then build to another hit. So you could say something like, I know you guys all know how she destroyed our economy, how she locked us down on terrible medical advice, how she went after businesses, how she closed schools. We should put something on there about schools. Yeah, children's schools.
40% of third graders can't read.
Yeah, let's do school. Yeah, schools literacy, we'll say. But anyway, let me tell you this thing about her, which is all you need to know about Tudor Dixon, or about Gretchen Whitmer. She vetoed legislation to fund the legally required obligation that Michigan had to wrongfully convicted prisoners. And this was before COVID even happened. This was like year one. So here's the story about this. A few years ago, Michigan passed something called the Wrongful Imprisoned Compensation Act, or the Wrongfully Imprisoned Compensation Act, which was to say that if you were wrongly convicted and you spent years in prison, you were owed by Michigan $50,000 a year for every year of your life that you were wrongfully imprisoned. Okay? So a few years after this happened, the fund ran out of money. So in Michigan, the law is, the Constitution says, money cannot be spent by the state without the legislative approval. No court can touch it. The Treasury cannot be touched by the executive, not by the judiciary, not by anybody without the legislature. So if there's no money in the wrongful imprisoned compensation fund, even if it's money owed to people, too bad. A court can't even garnish the state treasury to put that money in. So we had, for example, there was a guy who was in prison for 55 years before he was exonerated.
Oh my goodness.
So he was owed like $4 million or something. So the legislature passed a bill to fund the wrongful imprisoned compensation fund unanimously. Every single Democrat, every single Republican voted for the bill. And Gretchen Whitmer vetoed it. Anybody in chat want to guess why before I tell you? Don't answer if you already know the answer to this. Oh, R.L. White Wolf says put a fake kidnapping plot on there. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I don't think Tudor will go there, but let's see if Whitmer tries it. She might try to play that card.
She might try to play victim, yeah.
Anyway, so the story behind this, if you guys haven't heard this story, when Whitmer was running for office, she made a campaign promise that she would veto any bill that appropriated money if it wasn't a budget bill. And she had to prove that she was a strong woman, and that's why she vetoed that bill. That was the only reason. That was the only reason, because she was so insecure. She had to prove what a strong woman she could be. So she forced wrongfully convicted prisoners to wait months and months for the money that they were owed, just to make a political talking point. That's how insecure she is. So, and by the way, the further backstory to that is the reason why she made that pledge in the first place was because when Michigan passed its right to work law, there is a provision in our Constitution that says if there's any appropriation in a bill, it's what's called referendum proof, meaning they can't just get signatures to put it on the ballot to repeal it, which is what the unions wanted to do. So that's why Whitmer made that campaign pledge. I will veto any bill that has an appropriation in it. And she to prove that she keeps her promises.
Yeah, oh yeah, she does.
By making wrongfully convicted prisoners wait.
Well, she's, yeah.
Yeah. Tyler says, would be nice if they ask about Connect, but it won't happen. No, it probably won't happen. But do we have any vote fraud things on our bingo board? We don't. Let's do something about that.
Election deniers.
Yeah. Let's say election fraud in general, anything relating to election fraud. What else do we have here? Well, this is more of a Dana Nessel thing, but any mention about that dam that broke in Sanford?
Line 5.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, let's do. Well, I don't know. We'll put Sanford Dam on for now, and we'll replace it if we think of something better. Yep, line 5. That's a good one. Line 5. What else has the legislature and the governor screwed up?
She's going to try to claim all these bipartisan wins that we've given her over the last week or two. I don't know if I put that on there, but
Republicans, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. How should we put that on the board? Like Whitmer claims to be bipartisan, something like that.
Well, let's think about it. What are some other ones we could do?
Sandra says ballot harvesting. Yep. That's kind of like election fraud, but hey, we'll put that on.
Right.
Ballot harvesting.
The increase in crime, defund the police, BLM.
Right. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll say, let's say BLM crime. And yeah, one of the things you might have seen on our Whitmer flyer, folks, is when, of course, Gretchen Whitmer marched with BLM. Oh yeah, let's do this one.
Florida. Yeah.
I was gonna say, we'll just call it lockdown hypocrisy.
Yeah.
That comes up, lockdown hypocrisy.
Okay. Well, we had lockdowns up top with COVID.
Yeah, but that'll be just lockdowns in general. This one will have to be on the hypocrisy angle. Yep.
Okay. All right.
What about, let's see, Pieman 5000 says kitchen table issues. Sandy says, I can listen to the debate without listening to Gretchen Whitmer's voice.
Right, Sandy.
Larry says, vetoed all tax lowering bills with the moratorium on gas tax. I thought we had something in here about, we have gas tax on its own.
Yeah.
Maybe the roads and gas tax are kind of similar though.
Do you think she'll go there with the refund on the insurance? That's kind of a debacle, but the car insurance stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lamchop 53 on Rumble says photo with Gilchrist and braless trans person was so classy and telling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would put that on the screen, but I wouldn't do that to you guys. And besides that, I don't think that's going to come up in this debate. So let's see. What are some other big things that was? I mean, I don't know. Insurance maybe, but I don't think so. What are the kitchen table issues? I mean, education. We've got crime on here.
Groceries. Yeah, that's all under inflation. Gas prices, everything.
Yeah. Anything more about lockdowns?
Presidential run, John Smith said, and she denied that the other day. What? Yeah,
I don't know. My worry is if we put in, because we've always lost bingo, like nobody's got bingo in our previous debates.
You really want someone to win.
Come up, it's going to make it just that much harder to get bingo.
Yeah.
By the way, John, good to see you again, buddy. It's been a minute. Mark Kernel, that's a good one. Yeah. Pfizer vaccines. Mark Kernel says the CEO of Pfizer is saying the jab didn't stop the spread. That could come up in some way for sure. Yeah, John, green energy. Yeah, good one.
I don't. Does Tudor talk about it that much though?
No, but I mean, it's something that could very well come up.
Yeah.
So let's see. So let's take another minute to think this over. The Sanford Dam one, I think, is kind of esoteric. Hyman says Benton Harbor water. Let's do water in general. That'll cover Sanford, that covers Flint, that covers Benton Harbor. I don't even actually know what Benton Harbor is in reference to. So, yeah, that'll be
Dan,
good.
hey, Lawless.
Hey, Dan Lawless is in the chat. Awesome. All righty. So let's generate our bingo card. I think it's a pretty good bingo card. Anyone?
I think so.
Anything we're missing? Tyler says right-wing extremism. Oh, that's a good one too, though.
Yeah, defending the police. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've got BLM and
crime. Yeah.
A lot of police on here too, I guess. All right. Income tax and constitutional carry. I have a feeling we're not going to hear about guns in this debate. None of the other debates we've seen in these other races, they've been talking about guns much. Oh, but Oxford.
Well, do you think Whitmer is even going to talk? She might try to avoid the lockdowns in general, but you know, she keeps claiming, you know, because we could put the word safe, and that would cover. I mean, just kind of cover both of them, because she always loves to say how she kept us safe, you know, and then But now Tudor's with her approach with, you know, the more 1 billion on police or whatever she wanted. Please don't quote me, but something, you know, about safety. So that would cover kind of everything.
Yeah. Let's do this. We'll get rid of the wrongful imprisonment compensation because that's not going to come up. Let's do guns. That can be Oxford. That can be red flag laws. That can be right-wing extremism. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, there we go. Opposed to left-wing extremism, we'll go in this one over here. Although we do have we got the FBI thing there too. Well, those are different. Those are different enough, I think. I think this is pretty good. I think we got
domestic terrorists. Do you think she'll call us domestic terrorists? I don't know.
We'll see. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Shannon says unemployment losses. We got that on here. Unemployment benefits. We can add maybe / losses here. Yeah. All right. I think this is pretty good. Let's see here now. I mean, we could actually add in extra words.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got it pretty good. Jennifer Elkin says the porn books in our middle schools. We have something like that here, I think, don't we? Well, we got transgenderism and drag queens, if schools and literacy. That's good enough, I think. All right, let's generate our bingo card. And now, this, I believe. Oh, here it is. This is the link here. This is the link that you guys need. So I will post this in the chat. I got to post this on Rumble too. Let's see if this will do the trick. That is the link that will generate a different card for everybody. So what you can do is generate your own card. Don't cheat. Don't make multiple cards. And if you win, you can say bingo in the chat, and then you can give us what happens when you click the generate card. It generates a number. You see in the top of the address bar here, it's got this code. That's the code for this particular card. So you can send us that, and that way we can confirm you've gotten bingo. And we'll give a free something to whoever gets bingo first. We'll give whoever gets bingo first a whole box of Gretchen Whitmer literature. That's 1,000 pieces of our full color flyer. Do I have one handy? I think they're all in my car. Shoot, I was going to show it off. Well, I can put it on the screen. Let's see here. We'll just go to rescuemichigan.com, go to the Whitmer Flyers page. You'll get 1,000 of these gorgeous Gretchen Whitmer flyers. On the front side, you've got the Gretchen Whitmer looking like Marilyn Manson there. That's on the front. These are high quality prints, by the way, glossy, full color. You've got, this is the backside, more details. Michigan's lockdown hell. You've got her marching with BLM. You got cars on fire. You've got a guy murdering an old man in his nursing home, a veteran, in fact. You got Gretchen Whitmer being a complete hypocrite, Gretchen Whitmer hurting children, all the good stuff. So the winner of bingo will get 1,000 copies of these flyers mailed to you at no charge. That is, I think, like $120 value, something like that. No, it's like a $95, something like that. Anyway, it's a nice prize. So you guys should all play. And in fact, I can even give you guys a preview. We do not quite have our Dana Nessel flyer done just yet, but it will be done very, very soon, probably tonight, in fact, and we'll put it out tomorrow. It's not going to be printed because there is a certain upfront cost of getting thousands and thousands of flyers printed. Unless people email us and say, I want you guys to print these for us, and we'll get them done nice and glossy. We can do that, but it will be a design that you all can just download, print from home if you like, and or go to your print shop and get them done. So let me see. Somewhere here I did. It's not complete, but I'll just give you guys a taste of our Dana Nessel flyer, which is going to have all of the good stuff on it. So we'll tell you about what you're gonna get to see. Hold on, I gotta find the image here. It's not complete, but is a step on the way. First off, I'll show you the image we've got here. Let's see here. Hold on. This is the artwork, or a part of the artwork for the front side. That's going to be the likeness of Dana Nessel that we're going to have on the front. So it's going to be a two-sided flyer. One side is going to be all of her insane decisions as Attorney General. We're going to be talking about her persecuting people for violating Whitmer's insane unconstitutional lockdown orders. It's going to have a bit about how she totally botched the prosecution of all the screw-ups relating to Flint. It's going to have on it the orders that she gave to raise the level of Lake Sanford that caused a dam to break and caused millions and millions of dollars in property damage. It's going to have, of course, that picture of her passed out drunk at the Michigan State game and the ridiculous thing she said after that. She said she had 2 drinks and she had to be carted away because if she hadn't, she would have thrown up on one of her constituents. Yes, she actually did say that. We'll be talking about the nursing home deaths, and all of that will be just on side 1. Side 2, let me pull it up here. And again, not quite complete yet, but let's see.
Karen Hunter's in the chat. Is that Karen, my friend Karen from Plymouth Township?
Might be another Karen Hunter, otherwise it probably is.
Yep.
Yeah, Pie Man on Rumble says, I feel like someone's going to get a bingo. Mark Kerniel says, thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard? The rule of thumb is whenever anybody leaves the left, you welcome them. Obviously, she has certain inclinations that are not conservative, and that's fine. You know.
Hello. Yes, it is. Hey, Karen.
Always happy when somebody.
Karen's a hard worker. She's great.
Yeah. All right. Let me show you guys what I'm working on the backside. The backside of Dana Nessel's flyer is going to be all about her strange obsessions with sex and children. So here, I'll show you a little bit about what, again, the language isn't complete, but definitely highlighting the drag queen story hour quote that she gave. That's going front and center along with some pictures of drag queens in schools. We'll have a nice caption there about Proposal 3, which of course Dana Nessel vehemently endorses, and what that will mean if Michigan's children are allowed to get themselves sexually mutilated without their parents' consent or knowledge, or even over their objections, which is what Proposal 3 will do. And what Dana Nessel supports. We're also got this tweet. You may have forgotten about this one. Does anyone remember this? April 2nd, 2020, when we were in the height of the lockdowns. This is when everybody was panicking. So when people were dying, people were sick, people didn't know what was going to happen next. Dana Nessel tweeted out, am I the only one who regrets not totally liquidating my 401k and investing the whole thing into the business that manufactures real dolls? And for those of you in the chat who might not know, real dolls are life-size sex dolls. That's what she's saying. That's what she tweeted out from her taxpayer-funded state account on taxpayer time. We're all wondering when we can buy toilet paper again. Nessel's regretting that she didn't invest in a sex doll company, because she couldn't make the most out of the lockdowns that destroyed our state. Sick. She's a sick person. We're also going to have a quote from here about that time. She said that the sex offender registry is really overbroad and really cruel to these poor innocent sex offenders. So we'll have that on there too. So anyway, that's the sneak peek for the Dana Nessel flyer that's coming out soon. Why aren't other people making these flyers already? Why is this task fallen to us? I don't know, but that's where we are. Anyway. Joshua Burns says debate bingo. Yeah, well, we already made our bingo card, folks. I'll put the link up again on the screen so that if you want to play, you can join in, and the winner will get a $1,000 box of Gretchen Whitmer flyers. So that's where you go to download the bingo board. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's the all unique bingo card. This is the link to generate your bingo card. Don't use our bingo card because that's cheating. It's a bingo card. Yours should look different. So go to this address, bingobaker.com, # F1C2 6CAEC 04D63C2. Anyway, let's see if I've missed any chats. Sadomasochist says, found the drama queens. Don't know what that's in reference to. Joshua Burns on YouTube says, why would you vote early? Vote fraud waiting to happen. Well, Josh, one reason to vote early is if you are working the polls on election day. And I hope you guys all do. Now, the way to vote, and a lot of people don't know this, but you guys should let everyone that you know how to vote early without being subject to problems. And that is, you go to your city or township clerk's office and you can request your absentee ballot application right then and there. They will give you the ballot right then and there. You can fill it out right then and there and turn it into their lockbox in their office, or you can take it home, fill it out, and bring it back. As long as you're careful not to let anybody else see it, you can do that too. And I do recommend voting early if you do it that way, because things happen in life and people fail to vote on election day all the time. So get it done early, especially if you're being effective on election day, which means you're working in the polling places, you're campaigning outside the polling places. On election day, I like to be at the polls first thing in the morning. I'm often calling people, asking if they need any help, if they need any supplies, what they're hearing, what they're seeing. And you're busy the entire day, if you can be. And if you want to do everything you possibly can to help out the candidates on election day, and I certainly hope you do, it is good to get voting out of the way early. But you don't have to rely on the post office to do that. You go to your local clerk's office, not the county clerk, the city or township clerk where you are registered to vote. So that you can do. On Facebook, Megan says Biden's sanity would have been a good bingo one too. I don't think that's going to come up. They're going to stick to state issues. All right. What else we got? Another 15 minutes left to go. If you guys want, we could watch a little bit of, we've got some leftover debates from the other day. We could watch a little bit of the Tom Barrett versus Alyssa Slotkin debate.
And now, WLNS presents the 7th Congressional Debate, live.
Thank you very much and welcome to Studio A here at TV6 News. I'm Capitol correspondent Kim Skubic. Welcome to
blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Present real policy positions, the real differences, and just kind of own those.
Here we go. This should be good.
Do you want me to go first? Sure, go ahead.
Well, I think it's important, as a candidate for political office, to really let the people hear directly from me and certainly from my opponent as well. There's a lot of rhetoric and
I feel like I should let people know just tuning in. This is not the debate yet. There's a different debate. We'll switch over.
Sound bites that are used. I think it's important for the people that we are asking for their vote to hear directly from us, and that's why I'm excited to be here.
Ms. Slotkin?
Yeah, I've always done TV debates, big debates in all the races I've ever done. I think it's like as mom and apple pie as you get to be able to present real policy positions, the real differences, and just kind of own those differences and let the people decide. It's good old-fashioned democracy.
Well, thank you both for showing up. All right, let's begin. What did you learn about your opponent from the last debate?
What?
Well, I would say I think it highlighted some of the key differences between us. Certainly on substance, on things like economic policy, on abortion and Roe v. Wade. I think there was a couple of moments there where it got a little nastier than I would have expected.
Boy.
I hope we can keep it clean and
No, I wish I'd seen the last debate.
Well, I respect my opponent. I think she's a fighter, and that's something that I respect, and I think that's a very good quality in a candidate. But we do have our differences, and I think those differences were highlighted in the last debate, and I'm sure they'll be present in this one too. And we're excited for the opportunity to speak directly to the voters.
All right. I'm getting nervous here, folks, that if we show any more of this, people are going to be confused and think we're watching the wrong debate.
Yeah. Did she agree to go on LaDuff ever? Because I don't know. Barrett put out the call to both of them, and Barrett accepted right away, but I don't think she did.
No, interesting. Yeah, I think she's probably had enough debates. You could hear just from that one answer about the last debate. Well, which one from the last debate? Oh, I learned my opponent's good. That's what you basically said. All right, we'll just answer chats and hang out for a little bit till we get to the actual debate we're here for tonight.
Yeah.
Gretchen Whitmer versus Tudor Dixon. Mark Kerniel says our boy Rekieta was banned from YouTube. Yeah, for those who are not familiar with this story, Nick Rekieta is a very prominent YouTube host who actually was one of the people that inspired me to start live streaming. And he was kicked off of YouTube for what is a long story, but is essentially no good reason. Apparently, he's actually gotten back on YouTube, or at least he will be back after a couple of weeks. But having been censored the way he was, he's going to rethink his entire channel and start live streaming only on Rumble and Odyssey and other platforms, and only be on YouTube for short videos and excerpts and things like that, so that he can still use the channel to reach his audience, but not risk having YouTube censor him anymore.
Yeah.
And use YouTube as a way to get people onto other platforms, which is the best approach, I think. As people leave YouTube, they can do the most damage possible. And on that note, for anyone that's just tuning in, recently, we are going to hang up our YouTube stream when the debate starts at 7. So you may want to move over to either Rumble at rumble.com, just search for Rescue Michigan, you'll find us, or facebook.com/Rescue Michigan Coalition. The show will go on as we watch the debate at 7. Sandy on Facebook says, do we know who's the commentator for this debate and if the Dems picked them again? It's Rick Albin, who's just kind of a pretty standard faring Lansing establishment commentator type. Doesn't openly have a side, but of course, the entire political class leans to the left in general. So not expecting anything special from the guy. I see on Rumble, Pieman says that news guy's mustache. Yeah, that's Tim Skubic. He's kind of a funny looking guy.
Where's Channel 6 from? That Lansing too? That Channel 6? Where's that from?
Yeah. That's Lansing, WLNS, I think it is. Yeah. A lot of the Lansing press corps are kind of wiry looking fellas. Him and Kyle Malin. But Rick Albin's like a TV personality type looking guy. Lamb Chop says most ballots were compromised. So wrong by poll workers. Well, maybe in some places. I don't know about most in general. Well, folks, vote fraud can happen, but not everywhere all the time. And you guys got to be careful with a lot of these hacking the election completely stories, because a lot of that ends up only serving to discourage you guys from participating. And that means not just working the polls and voting, but campaigning and knocking on doors and contributing. If you think the process is completely rigged and your vote counts for nothing, whose agenda does that serve? Because if that was the case, why are all these campaigns even doing it? Why is anyone doing it if it was all just a fraud? How do you explain when Republicans have won ever? As if this is the first time this has ever happened. And frankly, for those of you who are new to politics and you're going to be working this election for the first time, when you realize how many people are involved in every single precinct, you realize vote fraud's not practical. It takes a lot of effort to do even a small amount of it. And it doesn't mean it never happens at all, but it is certainly limited in how much of it there can be. And it's why it's usually confined to like blue collar places, like Detroit, like Philadelphia, places like that. Lamb Chops is comprised, I think it means compromised by using magic markers. That was an Arizona thing. That doesn't happen in Michigan. And doesn't matter what kind of ink you use on Michigan ballots. Mark says Biden was the key reason he ran for president was to tackle inflation. Yeah, right. Did you guys see that statement from Biden? Was it yesterday? Where he said his son Bo died in Iraq?
I heard about it.
That's one that says something to me, because a lot of people in the right are saying 25th Amendment and stuff like that, and that's well and good. But I maybe I'm not an expert in senility and dementia, but I wouldn't think that losing your memory and would cause you to say something that's just completely wildly fictitious like that. That's like having no grasp on reality, or having no grasp on reality from fantasy, really.
He's just probably confusing two different events or something, which can happen.
Yeah, he maybe meant to say his son served in Iraq, not that he died in Iraq. Still, so bizarre, so embarrassing. What else has been going on?
I remember that. Even you could see signs if you've lived and known elderly people that have gone through it. And even when he was running in the primaries, you could see the signs. It was evident.
Yeah. Hey, have you guys seen this clip before? This one I just saw today. This is from a debate.
I will never stop standing up for Big Pharma, winning against my constituents.
Thank you.
I will never stop standing up for Big Pharma and standing against my constituents.
Thank you.
I will.
Yeah.
What's his face doing? He's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that.
That was in Minnesota. Yeah. Let's hope for a moment like that
That's
tonight.
true, Sandy. Yeah, Biden and lies have nothing to do with senility. He's been lying for decades. That's true. That is true, but he does have signs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what else is going on? Let's see here. Bank of America canceled cat turd. That happened. If you guys don't know,
JP Morgan Chase canceled Kanye West.
Yeah.
Dr. Peter McCullough got banned on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah. On YouTube, Holly says, Adam, Mel Trumper is in Michigan this week. She is working with True the Vote to get people to watch drop boxes. Will you please interview her? I can send you her email. Sure. I don't know who Mel Trumper is. I am familiar with True the Vote.
That's one more thing we have to do now.
The direct group, right? Huh?
We have to absentee chase. Now they're, opening ballots 2 days early. That's more work we got to do. Work the polls, help the campaigns. Now we have to do espionage on drop boxes and what, it's just, oh my gosh. There's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Holly, feel free to put us in touch. You can contact us using the web form on our website. If you don't actually have my email address, you can give me hers too. But, generally speaking, when I reach out to people that have never heard of me, and especially people that are busy doing things, it's hard to get a hold of them. So you might want to have her reach out to me. Bill R on YouTube says, someone told me Trump is running the military from Mar-a-Lago. That someone is called a crazy person. You should not listen to that person anymore.
Yeah. What does that mean? Trust the plan? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, QAnon stuff. I mean, if anyone that's still falling for QAnon stuff at this point has no ability to filter out facts from deep state deceptions, and that's kind of embarrassing. People should be ashamed of themselves. What else we got here? Pieman says the vote fraud was always in the one area that was never audited, and that was with the signatures on those mail-in ballots. Yeah, I mean, the big thing with at least with signature verification is, where's it most likely going to happen? It's where there's the most number of inactive voters, which you'll find in high density urban places. Emma asks, you'll be watching the debate here, or is this just a pregame? Yes, we will be watching the debate here. In fact, we should probably just put that on. Let's see here. First off, let me put our bingo card back up on the board. Yes, we will be watching the debate here. Let me find the window. Here we go. Can we just hit play on this? Oh, starting at 7 p.m. Okay. So yes, we will be watching the debate as soon as it starts. I'm going to turn down the video quality just because my bandwidth is, my phone is my internet. So if we have the video quality don't try 1500. If the video quality is too high, it might cause problems. Holly says, don't diss Anons. We are your viewers. Sorry, Holly, I'm going to speak the truth as I see it. And if that turns off some people, well, I'm sorry. Look, real conspiracies do happen, but when people buy into disinformation, it ends up discrediting us. And if you're a grassroots leader, you have an obligation to sort out the real things from the false things. And you have an obligation to research things. A lot of the things that the Anons said and repeated without looking into them ended up being untrue. For example, Mike Lindell in his election video posted on the screen a stat that claimed that 22,000 votes were taken from Donald Trump in Mackinac County, Michigan. That was in both of his election movies. Absolute proof and absolute interference. The problem is there's nowhere near 22,000 people in Mackinac County, Michigan. And when you put that into your documentary video because you didn't fact check it, and it turns out it's completely wrong, it discredits you. And that's one of the reasons why election integrity is not getting a fair hearing in Michigan, is because people repeated the false information, and that was allowed to overshadow the accurate information, things like signature matching, ballot harvesting, and all the rest. Anyway, it's 5 of. We are going to say goodbye to our audience on YouTube. If you want to continue to watch the debate with us, we are streaming on Rumble and on Facebook. So you can either go to rumble.com and then just search for the Rescue Michigan channel, or you can go to facebook.com/Rescue Michigan Coalition and you can watch us there. But we don't want to keep going on YouTube because YouTube is just a second-rate platform. They have a lot of problems with censorship, and we really all, if you care about free speech and the truth, need to be actively avoiding YouTube. So with that, bye-bye to everybody on YouTube. Hope to see you over on Rumble or Facebook.